right. So this week we have um, meeting minutes on Wednesday PM, and then CPI Thursday, PPI Friday. Low news. Mm, just yellows on Monday through Wednesday. Okay. Start with YM though. Whoa, didn't realize this was up. So we'll refresh that. Alright. So the higher time frame has really changed, but we have reached a discount on this major range. So we could get a bounce now. We came below this low. I guess this candle hasn't closed, so I got rid of that, but I'm gonna put it back. The quarterly gap, value gap. Quarterly. Alright. So yeah, we could still end up closing above that and respecting it since the candle hasn't closed. But on the monthly or the quarterly, this is the current range. So quarterly, we've got still another fair value gap here. Monthly fair value gap. Don't even need to put fair value. So we just tapped that, and this closed and then just came up into there. So I'm just gonna kind of keep those the same. Actually, now, because this is a whole other month close there. See how we got that there. Nice little order block. And then we've got a monthly fair value gap kind of being formed here. Just gonna already put that there. Delete some of these old alerts that don't really need to be there anymore. This weekly got completely disrespected. That doesn't matter anymore. Alright. And we got just some order blocks here, but the real one would be this. Last week clearly displaced lower. Took out all of these low resistance liquidity pools on the way down. And now we've got somewhat of like an old relative equal high area that we haven't souped into. So I could see us coming a bit lower to soup that a bit more. Just gonna have that there. We've reached a discount of 2023's range. Right to the T. Very interesting. But yeah, we have not reached a discount of the full range, which is what I'd be looking for. Discount literally lines up with this high. Very interesting. Leave that there. But yeah, no discount on the regular stock index, and we still have smooth lows. And with how big of a displacement, would surely expect this to keep going lower and reach that most likely. So I'm a bear. And then on this chart, obviously we have big quarterly here. So yeah, that lines up really well. I'd probably expect this to kind of be a very strong area of interest down into this. Yeah, this looks really clean with this order block here too. Yeah, just smooth lows all the way down. We could get small bounces, obviously, but still gonna be bearish, I think, on Dow Jones. But yeah, this is definitely an area to bounce. Like we retrace down another 2%. Yeah. What would a 5% look like on YM? Yeah, that still makes sense. This is kind of like an inverse fair value gobble. Equal highs here, inversion fair value gap area with an order block. So I'm gonna note that. Oh, it's really big. I'm just gonna keep it in mind. So yeah, we're taking out a lot of liquidity, but still, they're just so obviously displaced lower. Excuse me. Man, this is very tough to get a read on this since the ranges are so big. And then you zoom in and it's all been sort of balanced out. So it's just a higher time frame play. Huge daily. Okay, weekly. Okay, daily. So yeah, just pure inefficiency on the daily. 4 hour, we do got some rebalancing here, but there's just nothing to really go off of besides smooth highs, equal highs up in here. This could be a nice level here if we do come up higher. And it would make sense to come up and resoup this area too, up into this. So this would be a nice area of interest later on. Bounce. Yeah, just smooth highs, but still bearish. This is just tough to really trade. It's just such a big range. Still bearish. They're selling puts, so we could get a short-term bounce. Oh, this is Dow Jones too, so I can't take it too seriously. Puts going crazy. Lots of call buying at the lows here, and put selling. Put selling. Interesting. Yeah, this is a tough one. Put selling, put spike, call buying, put selling. Yeah, put selling. Just doesn't make sense. Lots of call selling though, but there was some. Skyrocketing puts here before the dump. Nice dump. Choppy puts, but net put selling, net call buying. Wrong price. Lots of put selling. Seems like we could get a really strong bounce based on the flows at least. But yeah, we'll have to look at the SMT analysis. So far, we just have a nice area of interest here at the prior day, Friday's high. So we could get a nice pop. We could really expect these pops to be really big too, just because of the way that these kind of markets work. You can get really big moves down, really quick big moves back up. I'm just gonna quickly look at this. I think everybody's reached a discount on the futures charts. NQ, super nice sweep of the lows, and with ES. Do we have a SMT here yet? YM, what's this low? Maybe there's something here with the yearly candle. I'm just gonna look at 6 months just to make it a little bit more easy to spot. Whoa, 6-month chart. We've got a nice fair value gap here. Didn't even know. Six-month fair value gap. Same thing here. Same thing here. Six month, 6 month, 6 month. So yeah, we've taken out January. We've taken out 2024 low. We have not taken it out on ES. We have taken it out on NASDAQ. Interesting. That is off. almost perfectly nailing that there. So we did close, I mean, like, yeah, the weekly candle there. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we have some really bare flows there, but tons of call buying. Just clear, flat out call buying on Friday. Tons of put selling. Like that is just so clear. So you can just do the last 3 days. And put selling on the tide. That is so bullish. Did I do the higher time frame on these? Quarterly, monthly, nice little monthly nested here. Clear displacement, clear displacement. Okay, weekly. S&T. Russell, holy cow. What is happening here on Russell? Interesting. Russell showing a lot of divergence here. Has not taken out that low, but bouncing off of that order block. Now I gotta check weekend Wall Street. This is too curious. 5 points. Interesting. Interesting. It's not gapping down. That's interesting. Barely down. 5 points, which is quarter of a percent. Quarter of a percent on Russell. Let's look at US Tech. Also a quarter of a percent. Okay. Okay, very interesting. What about the flows for Russell? Put annihilation. Buying back. Put annihilation. Calls being sold. That is just insane to me. And Q's was massive put selling too. Though the volumes were low. We did have some call. Oh, call buying too. Yeah, what the heck? I'm looking for balance this week. Holy cow. Interesting. Russell. Yeah. So yeah, I mean this is the low. We did take out the high technically, but we are back at the order block that started this whole thing. Even on the monthly. Sweeping out all of the repainting this whole range. Dude, it's almost like this could just go like this. Just V-bottom out of there. Hmm. Funny enough, I think Russell might actually be in play here. Gold completely reversing. Dollar selling off within strong rally. Dollar does not have that sweep that I thought it had. Oh, right here. So look. This is exactly the same thing on Russell. So this is we have a soup of the lows, our time frame, soups out these lows, comes up here, creates smooth highs with huge inefficiency to target, which is like the relative equal highs on Russell. We come down, come back to the originating order block, barely tap it here, create more smooth highs, create basically relative equal highs and lows with the order block, would come back down, manufacture more liquidity, come back up, create the order block, manipulate that, rips all the way back up. And then this just repaints all of the inefficiencies, basically, reaccumulation. That's the originating order block. And then we come down back to this order block here. Bounce. So it could just be a short-term bounce. I would actually, this has played out to me, unless we want to rip back up for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked at it all. Dollar accumulation, yeah, it's like the same fractal here, but that I mean, we could still come all the way down here back to this order block, swoop these lows just like we did, and then come ripping all the way back up above these highs. So yeah, just interesting. And it lines up with the flows here very, very clearly. And this is very uncharacteristic. Russell's getting SMT not just with the down now, it's getting SMT with everything. And we're getting the right SMT here on ES since it hasn't taken out this low. So we do have a breadth, sort of an SMT, a relative strength and breadth here shown up. Let's check out RSP now that we've actually looked at that. RSP, still also holding above that. We had this fail, but yeah, I don't know. This just looks like a data wick. I do not think that that's there on regular charts. But has this reached a discount is kind of the question. And wow, crazy, crazy. It still has smooth lows, but it's not really the same chart as like SPY. SPY. Has reached a discount of this though, so that's something. At least a short-term bounce. But we'll look at those too. So yeah, Russell really seems like it could at least give a long bounce, but need to make sure I understand the dynamic for the short S&P that's been working all the way down till now. NQ discount quarterly for value gaps. Let's leave it. There's an inversion here, but whatever. There is a pool liquidity underneath this high. And yeah, I mean, that lines up with that 6 month. So we got this pool of liquidity basically below these highs, come down right into the CE of that. So people probably had their stop right here, support resistance, soup below that, maybe even down here. And NASDAQ should be the weakest, so I would actually totally be reasonable for this to keep going and Russell and stuff to actually still hold. And we did soup some relative equal lows and a smooth low. So yeah, I could still see this bouncing up into here before coming lower again. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking for bounce now because of the flow and the accumulation we're getting. But yeah, not really much else here. This is clearly an order block. We could get a bounce. It took out these highs and then came back and reaccumulated into the order block here. So this is definitely an area of interest to get a bounce. We've taken out the smooth lows. This low isn't really that smooth compared to that. It's just kind of like it's like actually a probable bounce area for that too. So yeah, but I don't really know what to say. Oops. There's definitely an area to get a nice soup though, lower on Qs. Why aren't these? There we go. Alright, so we got the 2024 lows down here. No one's taken that out besides Russell. And no one's taken out this low either. And Dow Jones is holding above this low. This is where we had a crazy sort of an SMT into this, higher lows, whereas NASDAQ came down here. So yeah, I mean, I'd just expect NASDAQ to sweep this. Maybe we get some SMT with ES into Dow. But we'll see. Not much clarity here, just looks like we could get a little bit lower. Russell though just looks like, yeah, there's something happening at these lows. We're crashing. Alright, yeah, I mean, the only thing really to do is just look at the small time frame and do my weekly review and look at all of this. So I think I might call it there. We have very clear low here put in, very clear S&T. You could see Russell coming down to suit this out though, before heading higher, but we'll see. Everyone put a low in here, so hmm. But yeah, I mean we have had everybody reach a discount of 2024, so yeah, the low for the year is all the way down here. And we had S&T, that's so funny. We had ES and NASDAQ, S&T into the new year for 2024, bounced, and now we're reversing on the year, coming back down to this yearly low. We've reached a discount. We're in a little reaccumulation area. We've taken out the low here. Oh, NASDAQ has not taken out this low, has it? No. But yeah, that doesn't really make sense though. Well, NASDAQ manipulated way lower on this low. The only problem I have with IWM is that it did take out the all-time high. And then some crazy relative weakness. So Russell was weak here. It came down S&T below. Did it outperform during this period? 50%. Oh, it did? Wow. Did just about as good as ES. NASDAQ, the king though. So yeah, it did do pretty well there. I mean, performed close to the S&P. So can we really say that breadth didn't open? It's like we just had much bigger, fast moves up and lots more chop. So I don't know. We do have relative equal highs though. I mean that is so clear, and we are showing a little bit of accumulation here. We do have the yearly SMTs here, which I should mark out. May also make sure I'm even doing this right. So yeah, this is December. Okay, so this is the yearly low. I'm gonna change it to like purple. Low. Let's just change it so that matches. Wow, this is a 2024 low here. we made SMT here. What? Yeah, this is weird. We made SMT. The Dow Jones is well below that. And ES is not. That is interesting. And we don't really need it on IWM 2024 low is here. Well below that. Long time ago. And we just ended the first quarter. So yeah, I don't know. There's something going on here. But I mean, this is like a level I would actually expect to get souped, so that's the problem with it. It looks like a level to be souped. So the only SMT we have is on this smaller time frame, and it is into key level, so it makes sense for us to get a bounce. But is it really high time frame enough? I mean, this is just an intraday SMT. I would want to see like some real structure, like Russell to come up and take these highs and then still hold a higher low. Then I'd be more convinced. Well, actually, it kind of did. It came down, took out AM session, reaccumulated the order block, held higher, rebalanced over lunch, took out PM, and it's still holding higher. So I think at least short term, this could easily be a quick long. Um, yeah, I don't know. This could be, yeah, just a nice rebalance long up into here. Or once it gets up above here, it just seems like it'd want to take those smooth highs. But there is an SMT here. This is the only one so far, but I would think it would want to do it again. So I'm just going to leave that there. But yeah, we are getting an SMT with ES. Just don't know if it's real. ES was basically the strongest up into here. And now it's holding higher. So yeah, I think I do trust this. Maybe not necessarily this exact low, but just this low for at least a short term bounce, especially since Russell's holding. I think there is a little bit of a breadth play, you could argue. And the flows are all bullish, so it's all there. It is there. It's just like, is it really the whole reversal? We'll have to see. So yeah, just higher time frame. I think we could get a bounce here, but still looking for shorts on NASDAQ and even the Dow. Shorts on everything makes sense. So still short bias, but because of the flow, we're going to look for longs, especially since we do have some relative strength showing up in a way that makes sense for a long. So going to trust that, and then we'll have to do my review of last week and break that down. So um, short biased overall still, but a long bounce seems very likely, at least where are right now. So yeah, I'd want to see for a long in these guys. I'd prefer Russell, but to see somewhat of a confirmed long, I'd want to see a change of character. So ES holding higher, I'd want to see that characteristic manipulation lower with NASDAQ and YM actually holding higher, just really, really small time frame. So yeah, and then maybe even Russell. Maybe even Russell gets that manipulation below this low, and then that's the long. So yeah. Um, so yeah, times to avoid trading this week. prior prior to FOMC minutes. So just that morning is good. Otherwise, regular trading style. 8:30s, New York opens, and PM manipulation ideas only, and then news. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We took out this high and then made another S. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I like the long here in Russell, and I also like longs once we get another smaller time frame, change of character, could be even on the 1 minute chart. As soon as we get that, I would trust it and probably get long ES or Russell. Interesting. All right, that's the game plan.